Former NASCAR champion Kevin Harvick delivered a stark assessment of Bubba Wallace's 2025 season during his latest Happy Hour podcast episode. The number 23 Toyota team began the year with championship aspirations, but now finds itself fighting for playoff survival.
The thing that surprised me about Bubba is just how well they started the season, and we're like, oh my gosh, this 23 team is going to be
Locked
on
in.
fire. And the wheels have just fallen off the 23 car. From a speed standpoint, we've seen it.
The commentary comes at a critical juncture for Wallace, who sits just 3 points above the playoff cut line with 7 races remaining in the regular season. His precarious position represents a dramatic shift from the optimism that surrounded 23-11 racing at the season's start. Wallace's 2025 campaign began with considerable momentum. The number 23 team showed speed and consistency that suggested a breakthrough year might be ahead. However, that early promise has evaporated over recent weeks, leaving the team scrambling to secure a playoff berth. Harvick highlighted specific incidents that contributed to Wallace's decline, particularly the Chicago race weekend.
Like, he showed up at Chicago, and then he had all the issues that he had
Pocono,
qualifying, and then, kind of a dumb move in the race there at the end with the 48, and took himself out and cost himself a bunch of points. But
the Chicago incident exemplifies the type of mistakes that have derailed Wallace's season. After experiencing qualifying difficulties, he compounded the problem with an on-track error involving the number 48 car, resulting in significant point losses at a crucial stage of the championship battle. The problems extend beyond Wallace's number 23 car. Harvick emphasized that the entire 23-11 racing operation has underperformed this season, including Tyler Reddick's number 45 team.
it's just been really, really all over the place for not only 23, but and the 45. 45 hasn't done anything that we expected him to do from a speed standpoint, race-winning standpoint. So, they've been off.
Reddick's struggles are particularly surprising given his 2024 performance. The veteran driver claimed the regular season championship and advanced to the championship for last year, but remains winless in 2025. His early season promise has failed to materialize into victory lane visits. We talk about the lawsuit and things like that, but they've just been off compared to where the number 23 started, and the number 45 never even had that shining moment yet, Harvick noted, referencing the ongoing legal battle between 2311 Racing and NASCAR. Wallace currently holds a tenuous position in the playoff picture. With only 3 points separating him from elimination, every remaining race carries enormous weight. The slim margin provides virtually no cushion for error. Recent wins by drivers previously behind Wallace in the standings have tightened the competition significantly. Shane Van Gisbergen's victory at Mexico City and Chase Briscoe's triumph at Pocono have secured playoff spots for drivers who were once trailing in points. In your imaginary driver's bracket that you thought at the beginning of the year, those two guys were already locked in, Wallace said about the recent winners. Briscoe has been competitive in everything he's been able to drive, so that was cool to see him get a win, although he was behind us in points. The playoff picture becomes more complex when considering that additional wins by non-playoff drivers could push Wallace out of contention entirely. With several hungry competitors below him in the standings, each race presents both opportunity and danger. Wallace's 2025 campaign has been characterized by dramatic swings in performance. In 18 races, he has recorded 6 DNFs, a remarkably high failure rate that would typically eliminate any playoff hopes. The statistical breakdown reveals the extent of his inconsistency: 6 top 10 finishes balanced against 6 finishes of 28th or worse. This roller coaster pattern has made it impossible to build sustained momentum toward a championship run. Despite the numerous setbacks, Wallace's position above the playoff cut line remains somewhat remarkable. No other driver above the cut line has more than 3 DNFs, with the exception of Ryan Blaney, who also has 6 failed finishes. After 3 consecutive weeks of race-ending incidents, Wallace appeared to stabilize his season with a 6th-place finish at Nashville, 4th at Michigan, and 12th at Mexico City. However, mechanical failures and racing incidents quickly derailed this positive momentum. A brake failure at Pocono resulted in a 36th-place finish, while damage from an early accident at Atlanta relegated him to 22nd. These setbacks have intensified the pressure as the regular season winds down. Wallace's current situation is complicated by his extended winless streak, which has reached 96 races. His last victory came in the fall of 2022, and the drought has contributed to previous playoff misses. "We have expected to win at this point in the season, and we have yet to do that," Wallace acknowledged. "But it goes back to executing, and if we can just do our jobs, there's no one behind us in the points that can beat us. So we'll just continue to do that." The lack of victories has raised questions about Wallace's ability to compete at the highest level. With expectations from sponsors, team leadership, and fans continuing to grow, another playoff miss would be particularly damaging. Denny Hamlin, who co-owns 23XI Racing with NBA legend Michael Jordan, has made his expectations clear. The team has invested significant resources in building a championship-caliber operation, including a new $16 million headquarters in Huntersville. "I just know the resources that we've put in at 23XI, and all of our drivers should win," Hamlin stated. "That is the expectation that I have of them. Obviously, it is a results-based business, and if you don't over time, you consider your options." Hamlin acknowledged seeing progress in Wallace's approach to handling adversity. The driver has matured in his media interactions and emotional responses to setbacks, a development that provides some optimism for the future. "It is just so much easier if you have issues and you want to kick and scream, 'Do it to us' at the shop," Hamlin explained. "When you do it outwardly in the public and in the media, it creates a lot of other distractions that you have to deal with." The ongoing lawsuit between 23XI Racing and NASCAR adds another layer of complexity to Wallace's situation. The legal battle centers on charter ownership and NASCAR's control over team operations. A three-judge panel from the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals vacated the preliminary injunction that had protected 23XI Racing's charters. This decision gives NASCAR the right to sell the team's charters, potentially forcing them to compete as open entries. Wallace has maintained focus on his on-track performance despite the legal uncertainty. "No, honestly, no. Obviously, you just know the base layer of everything, but opportunity is in front of me. I'm going, keep showing up until the doors are locked. So for me, I just show up, have fun," he said when asked about following the court proceedings. If forced to compete without charter status, 23XI Racing would lose guaranteed starting positions and financial benefits. The team would need to qualify on speed alone, creating additional pressure in an already challenging situation. Wallace's immediate future depends on his ability to execute consistently over the remaining regular season races. The upcoming schedule includes several tracks where he has historically performed well, including superspeedways and road courses. Dover International Speedway represents his next significant test, as it's historically been one of his stronger venues. However, with only a 3-point cushion, even a single poor performance could eliminate his playoff hopes. The mathematical reality is stark. Wallace needs either a race victory to guarantee his playoff position or consistent top 15 finishes, while hoping competitors below him fail to win races. "We've been throwing the word execute around a while, but mainly on team meeting day, Monday," Wallace said. "It's a new week, a new fresh set of downs, a new opportunity." His approach to the remaining races reflects someone trying to maintain optimism while acknowledging the gravity of his situation. The 96-race winless streak weighs heavily, but Wallace continues to believe in his team's capability to compete. Kevin Harvick's analysis of Wallace's situation reflects the broader NASCAR community's view of the number 23 team's struggles. The former champion sees potential in the organization, but recognizes the immediate challenges they face. "I think there are some racetracks that are good for him for the rest of the year, but it's a matter of getting into the playoffs, and those races that they have leading up to the playoffs," Harvick said about Wallace's remaining opportunities. The assessment carries weight given Harvick's experience and success in NASCAR. His observation that the wheels have just fallen off captures the dramatic nature of Wallace's decline from early season promise to playoff desperation.